legs hurt. Did a big workout at the gym this week. And you know what? I have to face this now. It's one computer I really don't like. The all-in-one. And why do I not like them? Well, quite simply, they're just a really to work on and repair, and just doing the basics of switching out RAM or hard drives or accessing the motherboard. It's a bit of a nightmare. And don't be fooled by this Lenovo that somehow the computer's in this bottom because it looks thicker. I already checked it. That is just a speaker, a mobile phone wireless charger, and the power button, and some weights to hold the computer down on the table. That is it. Everything is actually in the back of it, behind this panel, which I'm going to have to get off. And you can see where this is going and why I don't like them. If you ever want to buy a new computer, I don't recommend these if you're trying to save space. Yeah, you can't upgrade them easily, and when they fail, you're at the mercy of the manufacturer because it's all custom and you have to buy their parts. So yeah, not good. If you're gonna get a new computer and you want to save space, just buy a mini ITX computer. They're about this big, don't take up much room. It's far better than this thing because you can actually upgrade those. Anyway, customer's in a hurry, so I better get into this, even though I just don't feel like it. But you know, it's got to be done. You'll see the downsides of buying an all-in-one pretty quickly. I'll stop talking and we'll get into it.
A few moments later.
So whenever you work on an all-in-one, you're going to need something to put it on. I've got this piece of soft, dense foam that I can put the screen nice and flat on. That way you don't scratch the screen or damage it somehow while you're working on this thing. And the first step to get into this computer is we need to get the base off, and so we have to get this little panel off here by squeezing and pulling off, so not too hard. And then the next part, we got these little cables in here which obviously power the screen and the phone charger and all that. So just got to be very careful to disconnect these because they're look very fragile. That's one done. Next one. Two done. Alright. So we are now disconnected from the base. And these cables, they tuck in here and they go down into here. Now that's free. We got 4 screws we got to take out. Right, got my trusty electric screwdriver. Screws are in pretty tight, but I guess it's holding the base on, so it needs to be. Whoop. Yay! 11-14. Yeah. Alright, so there's 2 screws left, so make sure you hold on to the base because we don't want it falling off out of control. And there we have it. Alright. We've disconnected the base. Now we need to get to the actual computer itself. So yeah, according to the instructions I saw, you just gotta push and pull up somehow. Alright, so you may need to use a guitar pick to help you. And then gently remove this, and it's just a plastic panel. And as you can see already, why I hate these things, just to get into them. I get worried about breaking the LCD as well. I've actually had instances where the design of it wasn't like this. The plastic went right to the edge of the screen, and then as you're trying to get it off, you crack the screen, and then it's just a whole drama. Luckily this one's got the panel off the screen, so it's less likely to happen. Alright, so the memory lives under this shield here, so we're going to have to get that off. But you can see the cooling fan there. But yeah, we need to get into this spot here because that's where the RAM is. So it looks like a screw. Yeah, it's quite a few screws, and this cable that goes to the base, we're going to have to get that out the way as well. There we go, it's got a little lock. Alright, so just gently get this cable out the way. As I said, I don't have a lot of time with this one, so I'm having to rush the filming a bit. Alright, so we've got the cable out the way, so we'll need to get these screws out. So that's four screws on the edge, and it looks like there's one on top and two others on the top here as well. Slightly different, smaller screws, and that should be that panel of free. And it's not moving. There's a sneaky one. There's always a sneaky one. Fifth one. Alright. That should let it go, actually. And it still doesn't want to come up. Sometimes what you got to do is you got to take the panel to the left of it off before it releases. Alright, keep those separate. Oh, sneaky screw. Alright. Hey, okay. So it looks like you have to take off the whole piece. That's annoying. But hey, so I'll just pop that there. So we're into the motherboard, which is right here. But yeah, it's a laptop motherboard sandwiched on the back of this screen. This is what all-in-ones are like. Occasionally you will get one that they put it in the base, and I like those ones because they're actually easy to get into. But yeah, I think the problem is the memory modules here. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull these out, clean them, and then put them back in and try turning on the computer and see if it works. So we'll get these out. But as you can see, it uses laptop memory, the SODIMMs. Yeah, when you do want to upgrade these computers, you got to use laptop parts often. So yeah, just put a little bit of circuit cleaner on the contacts and use a tissue to wipe along that and clean any dirt that might be on it. And then I'll give them a quick little blow with the blower to evaporate the alcohol. and we'll reinstall these. In order to actually test that this is working again after doing that, I'm going to have to reinstall the metal cover because it's what the base mounts to, and I have to partially mount this base in order to test this. So let's get this, and I have to screw it fully because otherwise it will not be rigid enough to hold everything in place. So I'm not going to put it to level, I'm going to put it to level 5, that should be plenty. Just make sure when you reinstall the plate that you're not crushing any cables. Alright, so we got it on enough that we got the secure base, so we'll pop this bad boy on because this is where the power comes in, so it's got to go back on in order to even check this silly thing. And we'll put the screen mounts back on. Ah! Come on. No! Ah! Now we just need to connect these cables again so that power can get through. Alright, let's flip it over. It's probably best to grab it from the base. Less likely to hurt something. There we go. Alright, so we'll see if what we did helped the computer at all. Quick update. Yeah, I can't get the motherboard to function any further. It looks like a component on the board has failed, preventing it from working. I did measure the power coming in pins, and there is 20 volts coming in, so the power is reaching the motherboard from the base, so the base isn't the issue. So it's at board level, something's gone wrong and she's not working anymore. I looked it up online, and to get another motherboard it'd have to come from AliExpress from China, probably take a couple of weeks, and in the ballpark of like $300 to $400 for the motherboard. So if you really wanted to fix it, we could, but by the time we add labour on, you're like in the 600 range, and you know, you can buy a whole new computer for another 600. So computer's about 4 years old, so I wouldn't probably spend the money, but you know, other people might. So yeah, that's how it ended. The other problem I ran into is the drive when I got it out to get her data, and so we can transfer it to a new computer, is we got encryption, the BitLocker encryption has been turned on. This is a common practice with companies like HP and Lenovo.
Stop it. Get some help.
And it gets turned on automatically when you set up the computer. And the problem is, if you have to pull the drive out because your computer doesn't work, you cannot read the data until you enter the encryption key. And the encryption key is stored on your Microsoft account, but not always. So I really wish companies would stop automatically turning that on, because most people don't need to do that. It's a security feature that maybe military or medical might use, but for the average home user it's just overkill and leads to problems like this, where until we get the encryption key from her Microsoft account, I can't get her data. I can't do it. So yep, so that's where we're at. She came back to me and said she's going to get a new computer. She may buy it through me, not sure, but at this point we're just trying to get her data off. She's trying to get it from her Microsoft account as we speak, and yeah, we'll see if she can do that. Hopefully she can. But that's pretty much going to be it for today. That's what you get with an all-in-one, and you can see why I don't really like them much. They're a bit of a hassle. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, so that brings us to the end of this video, and customer's decided to get a new computer, like I said, and she's going to go for a mini PC, and so I'll be doing a new video on building that one. That'll be pretty interesting. And yeah, I was able to get her data unlocked as well. She got the encryption key, and that's all done. So in the end, it was a good outcome, other than that all-in-one failing miserably. So yeah, the other thing I wanted to quickly ask you guys to do is if you could actually like or subscribe or comment on my videos. YouTube is changing the way they record views, and if there's no interactions, those views don't really count towards my view count. So really important. Even just a like would really help me out with my channel, and so I can keep doing this and get better and better at it, and yeah, be really cool. Alright, until next time.